Hello, you guys. Maybe I should put Memphis Police Department shit. Folks don't know. Well, the thing is up there. I am so this. I am. I'm just. I'm upset this morning. Hey, Dot again. Yeah, I'm feeling a certain way this morning. I had to get on here and talk about it. I really did. I had to get on here and talk about it. And I'm still pro police. I mean, for those good police officers. But with MPD, it's just a lot of stuff that's going on that I don't agree with. And one of the reasons why I don't get on here and bash them, because I can't get into those conspiracy theories and all of that. And yeah, because they kill young Dolph, stuff like that. My mind is not set up to process or digest stuff like that. Okay. Um yeah. And so what I don't like to do is I don't like to because I don't like to overshadow those good police officers, right? That's truly out there protecting the community, um, that put their lives and stuff on the line every day for a job that they loved or once loved. Okay. So that's why I don't get into police bashing, because I know we need good police officers. We do. If not, the criminals that's out there robbing and killing and stealing and violating, they would have their way. Okay. So there's this case. Okay. I just spoke with an investigator. Okay. And he was pretty nice. He said only what he could say. And I told you all that it bothered me. It bothered me um when I spoke with the investigator on the Howard Barnett's case that was just assigned. And he started reading the notes of the 21 investigators that had been on Howard's case prior. 21 investigators in 7 years. In 8 years, has it been missing for 7 years? 8 years, okay? And he looks at the notes and he goes, well, one of the investigators says that he has a warrant, and um that could be a reason why he's missing. I said, what is it? Is it a general sessions warrant or is it a CR? I do believe it's a GS, but um but they believe maybe, at one time they said he evaded and talked to the girl, and she said he had a warrant and all of that. I said, well, what kind of warrant is it? Can you tell me? He said, well, I don't want to, put his business out there. I said, so let me get this straight. You're telling me a man that goes missing in 2017, car found on fire, van found burned up, who has a mother, daughters, brothers, father, siblings, that's been stressed looking for him, would go into hiding because of a misdemeanor warrant. Well, no. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, we have to keep our mind. I'm just saying that's what's in the notes. I said, but that's what that's really what you're saying. You, a man who had a successful tax company that could have went to jail and paid bond and got right back out. Y'all think he would go into hiding and not contact his family? I said, so that's what you all would run with to keep from doing what you're supposed to do. So then he got into some more stuff, and it was, well, I need to talk to the family. I said, that's cool. Okay. And so anyways, I don't know what made me go, and because it bothered me so bad. I was like, dog, I don't want to do no bashing, because I don't really want to overstep my boundaries. But I know how MPD works because I worked there with them for so many years. So I was like, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I know that a lot of times, the family don't want to make no waves with what's going, because this is who they have at this point to solve the case. So I was just mad. I talked to Howard's, I was kind of venting to Howard's brother about it. And he's a real cool, no nonsense type dude. And he was like, well, he said what he said. And so then I don't know why I've been constantly having intentions on going and looking to see if he had a warrant. I didn't go. I was so mad that day, and this was like a month ago. I didn't go look. So I'm sitting here the other day, and I was like, let me see what kind of warrant he has. I look into the system. I don't see no warrant. Okay. I was like, well, dog, maybe they got his name spelled wrong or something like that. So I called down to Fugitive and talked to a friend of mine, one of the that's on the Fugitive squad. I was like, can you look into your system? Because for some reason it ain't pulling up for me. Maybe you got I know he could look in the files. If it's not showing up right, he could look into the files. No, he ain't got no warrant. And that just made me mad. So I started thinking, I was like, damn, he ain't got no warrant. So that means that the new investigator that they put on the case, he didn't go and double check nothing. He looking at the notes because he said, I wish I could show you how large this file is. I wish I could show you, like, it's been 21 investigators on this case. This file's so big. I said, so that means what? You go through that file. I mean, I'm a fucking private investigator. Hell, I ain't supposed to be trying to tell MPD how to investigate. So I said, so then that means what? You're gonna go through the file and assess everything, and then you go back to the beginning. He just kept saying, you don't know how thick this file is. So anyways, I called this morning. Okay. I called this morning, and I could not think of the investigator's name. I was so mad. Sometimes I just wake up with stuff on my brain, and I woke up with him on my brain, Howard. I started thinking about some stuff, okay, and thought about some stuff that the investigator said, because he did say, just with him being in the notes, because the lieutenant kind of went through it too. It was like, well, everything kind of points at blah blah blah, but this and that. Okay. Okay, so which is it? Is it pointing in this direction, or are you, just because you don't want to do what you're supposed to do, you don't want to work it, okay? You're gonna say, oh, but he could have just left on his own. But so you're talking out the motherfucking side of your neck. Is it pointing in the direction of what everybody know? And y'all know it too, but you don't want to investigate it? Or so you're gonna stick with, maybe he's in hiding for a misdemeanor warrant. Okay. So that's what they lean on when they don't want to do their job. So I was talking to one of the investigators this morning, and I guess it was just meant for me to talk to him, because I woke up pissed off. I woke up with Howard Barnett on my brain. I went to sleep thinking about him. I woke up with him on my brain, and then I got mad. Okay. And so I was like, well, I know the division used to be open on Saturdays, but anyways, a nice guy answered. Okay. I know they be full of shit. I told him, watch the show. I'm getting ready to expose some shit. Okay. So anyways, I ended up having a conversation. With somebody, even like maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I was telling them about how the process was when I was working there. And hey, maybe there should be some updates. And the person was like, well, I won't even say who it was. And so which was messed up. It was just for people that got into the drop and for great positions. Now, the guy that I talked to this morning, he said, let me tell you something, ma'am. I'm not going to say his name. He said, it's 5 of us over here, and we get so many cases in. We inherit cases. He said, all the cases that we got over here, and it ain't but 5. He said, we're already short. People are leaving. He said, it's just 5 of us, and it's going to be 4. He said, so we ain't able. He said, I know that is wrong, but unless somebody pinpoints something directly, we ain't even able to do nothing, really, because we're so short. That's just all I needed to hear. I think it's a damn shame that you have a case that is solvable. Howard Barnett's case is solvable. So anyways, I'm asking everybody to flood the FBI. I think this will be a good time for that, even with the dynamics of the case. I thought, because with the investigator, in the beginning, they just lazy. He was like, yeah, we're reading the notes, and with the information, this and that. I don't want to say too much. We're gonna have to I think that this is a case that can be pushed up. Okay. And when they say push it up, that means upgrade it to another bureau. Okay. To probably the bureau that it should have been in. But they got a lot of new investigators. They don't know a damn thing about what they're doing over there. Okay. At this point. So it's just really so sad. And so when people, get mad about the National Guard and coming in, and now what they're doing is, I understand now why they are changing laws and trying to make everything federal. Federal employees don't really retire, okay? Because federal employees make a whole heap of money. So they don't really retire. They could stay, even if it's hard work, they'll stay and work hard and make the money, because they're well compensated. I think with the Howard Barnett's case, the FBI just needs to be flooded. because at this point, MPD is limited. It's been so many people on that case. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to fit, but it just goes to show that you put somebody in the drop, somebody get in the drop. The drop is 3 years. That means when you're at the end of your career, MPD, you get in the drop, you stay 3 extra years so that you can get an extra $100,000. If you stay 3 extra years, they'll add $100,000 onto your pension, and then you out. They don't give a damn. They just sitting there to get that 100,000, that extra 100. So I just to hear him say, he was like, well, you want to talk to my lieutenant again? I said, he ain't gonna do a damn thing. And then he said, well, ma'am, hey, I'll be watching. Sometimes just whatever you do, it can't do. If it moves them, it can't do nothing but help us over here because we swamped. And it ain't but 5 of us getting ready to be 4. And you got thousands and thousands of cases. Okay. Hey, Hitter. I just had to get that steam off. It makes me so mad because because I do know. And I told him, I said, so what? He was like, well, I said, oh Lord. I said, so if it's still there, that means that he's not doing anything with the information because that people have been calling and giving him. So, believe it or not, people will call and give information. But what good is it for them to give information if them bitches ain't gonna get up and do nothing? Because I understand how it works. I'm good about that. Miss T such as wait, let me give you the phone number. That was the purpose of getting them to reassign another investigator. Wait, let me give you the phone number so you can call and tell it. And that was one of the reasons why he was saying that hey, I'm gonna contact that bureau. So this right here need to be pushed up. What else do you need? So I'm asking anybody that knows anything about the Howard Burnett situation, contact the FBI. Don't contact me. Contact the FBI. Because there's some things that I don't even want to know until it comes until it's in the media anyways. And so I got to thinking. I was going to do a little video on it, but we don't talk about it. So I got to thinking, with his phone being thrown out on Washington Street downtown by the Wendy's. I was like, well, dog, why was his phone thrown out right there? And I got thinking, I said, well, the water is like, what, 3-4 minutes up the way. Okay. I believe his brother is very straightforward. Okay. When remember he said somebody called him anonymously. He said that on the show and said to him, if you trying to find your brother, you're going to have a hard time, bruh. He said he didn't know the voice. He said that he didn't even know how they got his number. So that means there's somebody in the camp or somebody that knows somebody. that knows them. He said the person told him, bruh, they hopped out on your brother. I mean, he said all this on the show, right? Nobody knew this. He said all until he said it on the show, because I didn't know it. He said they told him, bruh, they hopped out on your brother. And your brother fought. And then the third person hopped out and they got the best of your brother and threw him in the van. And you know what's so weird? Is that the officer said in the notes of the 21 people that it was something similar, because you know you'll always get a couple investigators that will take an interest in the case and investigate. That it said that they held him at gunpoint. Okay, that they held him at gunpoint, and then when they got him wherever they got him, they did what they did. So I got to thinking about it. I was like, dog, his car was found down there in Fayette County. I even asked the investigator, did y'all send some? Did y'all get the dogs, the Godiva dogs, whatever you call them? I mean, you have nonprofit organizations that have dogs and shit like that that'll get out there and sniff. They still supposedly got his clothes to be able to know his scent. All they got to do is he would have the similar scent as his mom and brother in them, but they had some of his clothes. It's supposedly in evidence. They didn't even do that, you know. So I got to thinking about, I was like, okay, it don't take a motherfucking rocket scientist to know. You ain't even got to have an investigator, be an investigator with no training to know he's either down there buried near, you know, he's down there near where that car is, that van was found, or somewhere around that water. But I would rather believe once whatever happened, they realized that his phone was left in wherever they had his phone. And they just threw it out. Okay. And I don't like to get into getting on here with theories and stuff like that when we already know the people that did, you know, they ain't no fucking rocket scientists. You got a girl that's stupid. Okay. You call a man right before he goes missing and ask him if he got his damn weapon on him. You text your dude right before somebody abducts him and asks him, do you got your weapon on you, so that she could relay it to whoever was getting ready to jump out on him. And I'm gonna tell you something. I know they look at this bitch. You'll do better going and digging up your motherfucking granddaddy and playing with him than to play with me. If you call my motherfucking phone from anywhere, like y'all did the night that I aired this case talking about you need an investigator, I don't investigate private cases no more. I'm gonna trace your ass and I'm gonna play ball with you. Okay. You'll do better going down there and playing scared and telling it. Okay. So, because this is going to come out. It's already out. Okay. Now, I would ask everybody to contact the FBI, flood the FBI, flood the website, do all of that. Now, the investigator that I just talked to did just say, when I said, "Well, I'm gonna expose MPD not doing what they're supposed to," he said, listen, I understand, but let me just say this. He says it's not my case, but he said I'm looking. Don't assume. Just don't assume. Don't make no assumptions. They're just things that probably can't be said. Okay. It's messed up. Okay. But you got thousands of cases and you got 5 men over there. And and one of them get ready to retire. So I guess what I want to what I want to do is I'm a stick. I can't take the fact that this man said that the man got a warrant based on what the girl told him, that he had been running from the law. If he was running from the fucking law, why was he riding around in his car? Who runs from a damn misdemeanor? All they had to do was go to his damn house. It was in his name. He had a business. He was up there every day. If he was running, they could have went and got him. He could have bailed himself out on the damn misdemeanor. But the sad part about it, he never even had a warrant. He ain't got one now. That's why I say, what's going on with MPD? They're starting to look a little incompetent. And hey, I understand nobody wants to be the police no more. Okay. A lot of good police officers are not allowed to do their job and all of that. Okay. It's a world made for criminals at this point. Seems like it's turning a little bit. But take your ass onto the house. Make being a police officer great again so folks can go in with a lot of pride and dignity and do their job and help to bring peace to families. Okay. Now, I'm gonna tell you what's something. I have hey, I guess I have a bleeding heart, but I don't do private work anymore. But I know guys that are still in the private sector, but they high priced. I don't care how much they like me. They tell me all the time I got a bleeding heart. They're not gonna work for free. But I bet you they could have the case solved within 90 days. They're retired law enforcement. Okay. I think that is unacceptable. When I kept saying, well, go back to the beginning. Do you know how big this file is? Motherfucker, go back to the beginning, bitch. Excuse my French. And he was a nice little investigator. That's just how I talk. But in other words, he was telling me that the file was too big. Okay. I think that is something. When I thought about Howard Barnett's brother, what he said on the show. Okay. What he said on the show, what he revealed to us on the show. He said that his brother, Howard, he did 12 years in jail for drug related charges, right? And his brother had a friend that told on him, got him locked up for 12 years. And, my heart hurts for that brother because he's hurting about his brother. Okay. He said he always felt like his brother was a real nice one. He's a real no nonsense type dude. You could tell when you talk to him. Okay. And so he said, but I thought about Rakayla and her mother. I know they're fans of the show. And so he said, he went to school with Rakayla's mother. And when he said he don't know how his brother met that girl, but when he found out who her mother was, he knew what they used to do in high school because they were pretty girls. They're pretty women, both of them, the mama and the daughter, they're still pretty. Okay. Allegedly, the mother and her friend used to get with dope boys and set up other dope boys. Okay. Allegedly. I'll say allegedly. But I don't think that he would lie because he was real bold and brazen about it, saying it. And he said he warned his brother, this is what her mother used to do. And he said he had told his brother had been gone for 12 years. And he said that bond would never be broken again. I got my brother back. And he been gone for 12 years. We're going to be closer than ever. So when she started coming around, he said, I warned my brother, you letting her see too much. I don't trust her. He said she was on him like white on rice because she was trying to see what they had going on. And we see that when he was out in the clubs, he hung with the mother a lot. So he trusted the mother. And he said he told his brother, now this is the guy that had you sent to jail for 12 years. And you start going to Rakayla's mother's home. And she got the guy and his brother sitting up over there. And he said he told him, bruh, it's something wrong about that. She know this dude had you, told the police on you, had you locked up for 12 years. And she gonna have this nigga sitting up when you walk over there, it's like an ambush. You don't even know he gonna be there. He's sitting up over at her house. Now, if this supposed to be your daughter's man, and he comes to your house, you're gonna have dudes sitting up over there that just had him. He just got out of jail, had him put in jail for 12 years. It was something wrong with that. Okay. And I said that to say this. If Straight Drop didn't do it, them dudes did. But it is alleged that that's how Straight Dropping them, what they did to him, that's how they was able to get that Young Dolph hit. That's what solidified them in getting the Young Dolph's hit. What they did to him, how he was never found, that solidified them in getting that hit. Okay, on Young Dolph. And I'm gonna stop right there because I'm seething. But I'm saying this to say this: anybody that's got information on what happened to Howard Barnett, contact the FBI. I bet you they'll move on it. Let's see. I'm gonna put. Hold on. That's the FBI's website. It could take the terrorist threats off, but that's the FBI website, www. Well, that's the https/tips .fbi.gov. Okay. I think the FBI has an anonymous because I used to work in Crime Stoppers. I don't know how effective that is now. Okay. Um, Let me see if the FBI got a tip, anonymous tip line. Hold on, because that's the website. Hold on. It's 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Okay. Yeah, and and then too, Kevin Felder, I kind of blame the lawmakers. What they did was they engineered something. They wanted for crime to get out of control. Okay. So if you get the people emotional, crime pays. You make the police disgruntled, whereas they scared to even make arrests, because if the suspect, the criminal complains, now the police is up under investigation. I mean, they just stopped doing their job. Okay. Said Big U son got killed in LA. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I don't know, it's sad. It really is. So listen, y'all, I've been working for the federal government, and they are effective. Okay. They are effective. Um I I think sometimes a bit harsh, but they are effective. Okay. I wouldn't wish the feds up on nobody. Okay. But because they come to they come to what's the word I'm looking for? They is as effective as a mafia, just in a legal sense, I would say. Anyways, if anybody want to come up, y'all can come up. Um, Keep it on topic, okay? I don't really feel like being bothered with no craziness. But if you want to come up, come up. Y'all know I rarely drop the link, but I'm just venting this morning. I ain't gonna even stay on too long because y'all know I got to start back studying. But I think that that's so sad. Maybe they're doing something and they can't tell me. But I was just mad anyways, because one thing that did kind of stand out to me this morning was he was like, I can't find, maybe it has been pushed up. Maybe that's why he said that, what he said to me. about certain things. Okay. Maybe it has been pushed up. But if it hasn't, we still need to contact the FBI. And even still, having 5 people in missing persons and one get ready to go, I mean, with thousands of cases, that's unacceptable. Are people loved ones not important? Hell, that's what the Bureau is for. Are they saying the Bureau is just to document missing persons and not investigate them being missing? I need to know what that division is truly there for. He said they've been trying to get at Big U for a long time. Okay. I ordered some stuff in my kitchen from Temu. I'm happy. It's out. I'm getting ready to get it. Y'all, I tell you. Hey, Miss Keita. I think that it's really a shame. It really is. Hold on one second. Move out the way. Move out of the way. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, you all. So we're not satisfied. My dad used to say, "It ain't no need in complaining about it. It's you have to get effective." And basically, I mean, the man just basically said that they ain't got the manpower to do what they need to do. Okay. But he also said something. He also, we just gonna keep praying. But we're gonna, in the meantime, until we know what's happening, we're gonna contact the FBI. Good morning, Miss Tamara. Just joined. We're talking about Howard Barnett. Did you see what happened with Cornelius? Yeah, he goes back for his disposition, right? Hold on, let me see something. Hold on. You said, what's my view? My view, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. Um, some people are saying they think he's gonna get 50. I don't know. I would be surprised if he got 50. I was thinking more around 25 to 30. Then he might get less than that. Who knows? Because you got one guy that was charged with the unalive, and he got 5 years. So that's affiliated with that situation. So it's weird. It's you never know. So you never know what's gonna happen with that. Should Cornelius get some time? Yeah, I mean he has to pay. He has to pay for his part. But I just kind of think Cornelius probably has told. I don't know if he would know anything about the Howard Barnett's case, but I think he would probably know about some of the other situations that have been unsolved around that area. I think what they did was they made the mistake of thinking that Cornelius was so messed up on pills that he didn't recognize. That's what a lot of people do as it relates to people that are on drugs and stuff. Now, he was able to convince, he was believable in Straight Drop's trial, and he was probably believable in Hernandez Govan's trial. I think it came down with Hernandez Govan's trial. It was the jury against the district attorney and the prosecutors, okay? Because you heard the one juror say, they got issues with Steve Mulroy, okay? So they didn't have prosecutors there that brought their A game or anything like that. So I mean, Manny just kind of stomped the yard with them, mopped the ground with them. But with his years of experience, right? But so it doesn't mean that if Cornelius is solving other situations, and I don't know if he is, I'm just saying hypothetically, that he's not going to be credible. It all depends on the jury. Okay. I don't think that the prosecutors are going to go to trial anymore and get embarrassed like they did in the Hernandez Govan's case with those two, especially with those two women. You saw how animated Manny was. You got to have somebody, and they got prosecutors that is just as animated, that fight just as dirty and knows how to twist the truth, just like Manny did. There is no fairness in war. Them women didn't even know how to twist the damn truth. They didn't know how to do nothing. They didn't know how to use the information that they had. Okay, they didn't know how to throw punches to get him off balance. They didn't know how to do none of that. They just let him have his way in the court. And he basically won off of theatrics. Because if you ask me, his client is definitely guilty. Okay? He said it's strange how a Howard Barnett is on a grand jury list in 2022 for allegedly what Howard do, but the birth year is different. What you mean by that? It's me when you say that it's a Howard Barnett on a grand jury list. What you talk about? Help me out. What's up, Dot again?
Hey, what's going on? See, my voice might be a little raspy. I'm still getting over my great nephews, but it's all good. So I had a question for you as far as Howard Barnett. If it's tied into the Dolph, well, not the Dolph. If it's tied in the straight drop, wouldn't it be federal? Is that why the NPD can't do anything about it or won't do anything about it? Because I'm confused.
That could be it, because it could be, because I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking about. Because I just talked to, and he was a nice guy. I just talked to this was a different investigator I just talked to. When I asked him about it, because my brain went blank, I was like, I can't remember the investigator's name. He was like, well, give me the victim's name. And I gave him, he was like, that's not, we don't have that case. And he was looking right in their system. Now, before, I was like, maybe you're spelling the name wrong. He was like, well, we don't have it. So it could, that's the reason why he said to me, he was like, well, it could be anything, He was like, well, don't make assumptions and this and that, because the last time I did talk to the guy that was on this case, he did say, I'm going to talk to my lieutenant, and they did reach out to another bureau and said that, it could be pushed up. So maybe that's the reason why the guy just said, well, don't make assumptions, because it's a lot of stuff that they wouldn't be able to tell you anyways. He said they can't even
Right.
tell his family.
Well, I mean, they can't even tell his family that. Wow.
Well, I
Well,
mean, in
that's what I
certain
was.
parts of it, you remember when Mia J was having issues with them not telling her certain things, that there are pivotal times where they will go quiet.
Right.
So maybe I'm jumping off half cocked, because that did stick out in my brain. But what was going through my mind was, this man said that's what I was stuck on, that this boy had a warrant and he didn't, and it pissed me off because he didn't check.
That's understandable. This whole case, because I'm normally not involved in a lot of business like this, no way. But just looking at the intricacies of this case, has made me kind of look at. I don't want to say law enforcement different, but it's you kind of got no choice but to be like, hold up, man, like this, it don't seem right now. It's stuff we don't know, stuff we don't see, but it just doesn't seem like I wonder how they would feel if this were their family, like agents and cops. Like, how would you treat the case? Would you want to go strictly by the book, or would it be like, hey man, speed this up? Because like, I don't think people factor in emotion and love for people. Like if my loved one got done wrong, I think sometimes people worry so much about following the law to a T when you can't really follow the law to a T, that they forget that people will go get street justice. They will.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get that, it's like now you got a bigger investigation instead of just saying, you know what, we need to move quicker. Now quicker ain't always easy. I'm not saying that, but sometimes being quicker is more efficient. That prevents casualties. Look at this dog case. If they would have moved quicker when it came to Juke, see the other people, they wouldn't be dead. But they did.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you sitting back, it's like it gives the illusion that you're doing nothing when you might be, but dang, people are dying and y'all don't care. Y'all more concerned about your conviction rate than people's lives. That don't make sense, man. I can't compute that in my head. Now, I'm not a federal agent. I know some might be, I'm pretty sure your channel, some are listening. But
yeah.
it is what it is. I'm not going to back down from it. It just don't seem logical. Like, imagine if this was somebody in your family. How would you feel if this were you? You got to treat everybody like, man, if this were me. And it's like sometimes I think that these agents don't, either they don't care or they go too much by the book. And it's like, man, that ain't right. There's no humanity in that. Forget your book. Go get these folks. It ain't that hard. But that's just me.
Now I will say this, because y'all know I'm honest, that one of the people that did call, I guess, and gave some information to the police, supposedly now, they were dead set on, allegedly, that it was straight dropping them. And they did say, now the person did say that they said that, because they didn't say it to me. The person that told me said that they did say that it was Straight Drop and them and that girl was involved, that Govan was not involved. But they believe that Govan might know what happened after he started dealing with Straight Dropping them, but he was not involved.
Well, I mean, oh, he definitely know about it. If it happened in Memphis, he knows. He definitely knows. The boy know everything up there. He probably know what you ate for breakfast this morning. But I think like so just let's just as far as this Trio and England thing, like I listened to a clip and it said I don't want to get too far off topic, but I know he goes to trial, a trial on December 2nd. I've known that for a while. I sent you that. So we've known for a while. Not showing it's his trial because his charges haven't changed. His charges haven't changed. So he's going to somebody's trial on December 2nd. They said on the news, they believe two people jumped out of the car and started shooting. Where's that other person? Somebody got charged with that. I don't think Treyon did it because his charges haven't changed. If you look him up, they hitting this stuff, dude, with stuff from 2016 and 2018. They're
Mhm.
just like I said before, they're going back and giving him the time he should have had in the first place. Why haven't his charges changed? Where's that other person? Because they know who got out the car with this dude, or who, they got out the car and started blasting. Was it Straight Drop? It's stuff like this. I think Straight Drop is being told, man, we got you now by the throat, and you in handcuffs. That's what I think. That's why he did that post the other day.
Mhm.
They probably got this boy on so much stuff it ain't funny. I'm just guessing, but even if they do, why aren't people being told? Like, why aren't the Wilsons being told and stuff? Why ain't Dalton like what? Like, this is my frustration with. Not, I don't know Memphis Police or the Fed. I'm not going. Now I'm on the Fed. Like, dang man, why straight your brother get let out when he murdered somebody? What he out for? For what? You know he did it. Is he thought like I don't know, man. Like this stuff is weird. A lot of
Mhm.
stuff is just weird, and all the stuff is tied to CMG folk. You hiding in Block Boy JB apartment. What you hiding in his apartment for? Ain't no other apartments in Memphis. That's the only one you can go to when you let this man out. For what? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, does this stuff make sense to you, Tam? Honestly, a lot of stuff is going on in Dolph's case. Does it make sense to you?
You talking about as far as them not saying anything?
Well, that and stuff you see, like stuff. But now you know more that you can't speak on. So I'll kind of take that into consideration. But the stuff you don't know, is it does it make sense to you?
Um,
Be honest.
I gotta be honest, and I'm not saying this just to be saying. I think as it relates to the Young Dogs case, I think things are happening the way it should. It looks
Okay.
a certain way to us when it seems that pieces to the puzzle is missing. But I think that they having to do it in a way. It was quite a bit of money involved in Young Dolph's case. This I do know, and I think I put this in my members, and I haven't said I went in my members the other night, but and I'm probably gonna go in there tonight, but I will say because I've been studying and stuff a lot. Um, this ain't nothing I heard. I mean, well, this is something I know because I heard it from the right person. There were people more than there were other people that wanted Young Dolph gone, and they were able to establish why some of them did, and some they were still trying to establish why. So I kind of think things happen. I you know I I
Right. I know you can't say a
yeah,
lot of
I
stuff.
think it just kind of happened. Uh, since I've been working for the federal government, I see how they do things, and hey, all I can say is it's perpetual, but it's effective.
Okay, understood. Now I'm gonna ask you a better question because you found out some more stuff. What happened? What happened? Well, I'm not gonna ask about the Govan trial. Let's get back to Howard Barnett. So, have you talked to his family since you got this information
Yeah,
about the
I I,
investigation?
I I talk to his family all the time. It's something about when I do interviews, and that's because my heart is in the right place. Like their families, and so we just always keep in contact. When it was Lorenzen Wright's family, still in contact. His sister's son is my godson. I had his sister a baby shower, everything. Like I when it's something about when I do these missing persons cases, it's not just for a show. I just, the family stay in contact with me, and I enjoy being in contact with them, not just to talk about the case, but I don't know, it's just to be friends.
Got it. Got it. Well, they trust you. I mean, they should. I mean,
Yeah,
you
since
ain't
I've
lying to me.
interviewed Howard Barnett's family, I've talked to his family every day since then. Every single day, we'll either talk or a text message. So it's more than about that to me. It's about helping to encourage the family, not giving, not, that's why I'm very careful about what I say. You know what I mean? I don't give people false hope. It's just good to try and be effective. And I think when I tell people regardless of how we feel about the police department, it's gonna have to be law enforcement unless you can pay some real expensive private investigators. I mean, I wish I could get some of my friends to take on the case with a contingency of pro bono. They're high profile, high price private investigators. I believe they could have the case because they're retired from higher up agencies and stuff. But those are men. They work strictly for money, and I can't be mad at them. But because the case is solvable, and the mere fact that they did not go down there with dogs. Why did they choose that spot to leave that van right there? That's a big, we saw Justice for Dolph put up the area, right? It's a wooded area. I'm sure it was even more secluded back then when Howard Barnett went missing. So you can easily, why was that place chosen? How did they know to go to that place? All that land, all those woods and stuff. You didn't take dogs down there?
Yeah, it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, whoever it was, because I haven't talked to anybody, whoever it was that talked to the police told them they need to go back there. But see, the problem with the police is we need them to say, ain't nobody gonna come and say nothing to you in person. You just get your ass up and go look and see. Hell, evidently they know. That's what's got me pissed off. Or maybe they did. Maybe that's why when I called this morning, the guy was like, we don't have that case in this bureau. So maybe I just woke up mad, okay? And thinking about it because he was on my mind last night. Maybe something is going on, which is why he told me, well, don't jump to conclusions. It's things they can't tell you.
Yeah, and for them to say in this bureau, that means that it's likely somewhere. I would hope it's somewhere else. If it's not, then that's a travesty of justice, and that's that
Because now
But
that I'm calming down, I'm starting to think about what he said.
yeah, yeah, I would think so, and I would hope that this would lead if Drop was involved, it would lead him to just go ahead and just talk, bro. Just it's over anyway. You're not getting out. You're not ever. I mean, at least do the right thing so your daughter can, whatever she hears about you, she can know that at least try to do the right thing before whatever. But I don't know. I don't even know these people, but I'm an advocate of justice. I've
The
gotten so
Justice for Dawg
engulfed
still
in.
had a video up of Howard Barnett went. Can you reach out to Justice for Dawg right while we on here? So, because he had up a video of where he was showing the area of where Howard Barnett's van was found at. Now, I'm sure even back in 2017, it was way more isolated because Fayette County is is isolated and country and nothing but land and stuff. Anyways, basically.
Fayette County. How far is that from Memphis?
Probably about 45 to an hour. Fayette
So they
County
taking
would
away
be
at
like around, hold on. I thought it was Covington, but it's not. It would be around Oakland and Somerville and Moscow and Rossville. So about 45 minutes to an
Okay.
hour
So they took
around
him way out there.
Collierville, Rossville,
Mhm.
Oakland. It right like after you pass the like closer to Oakland. I mean Arlington
And where they find his phone again? Howard's.
and downtown Memphis on Washington. And a homeless person, remember his brother said when they went down there, a homeless person, um, the guy was like, it was a homeless man had that phone. And he said he knew it was true because he said, yeah, because he was trying to sell it because they threw the phone out. It's got 2 little girls on it. He said, so he knew that they was telling the truth. So what they did was they probably realized his phone was still in the car and just took it downtown and threw it out because they say Straight Drop was living downtown around that area, and if he was.
Wow, that's crazy. So they got all this circumstantial evidence at best. Well, somebody said Somerville.
Okay, so
Somerville.
Somerville. Does Justice for Darcia, he took down a lot of his videos, but he showed the area.
25 minutes. Inspired by 23, 25 from Memphis. Okay.
You said 25.
No, inspired by 23 said it's 25 minutes from Memphis. I guess it depends
It's
on traffic
60.
and weather
Okay, so
conditions.
his van was found 60 miles from Shelby County.
60 miles. That's crazy.
It was found by a property owner. The van had been badly burned where Fayette and Shelby County. So right there at the lines of Fayette and Shelby County, like right after you cross out of Shelby County, right there in Fayette County. Um, let's see. Like I said, Justice for Dolph pulled up the area. Do you still see that video on his page, Stephen?
I didn't know his page is still up. I don't see it though. Because I know who he said stayed down there in that area. Oh boy.
Who?
That Lambert dude, he said he stayed near there. I don't know. He's got a fixation for Lambert. I don't know why, but he got property down there. Jukin got his uncle.
You have to think about it. Why would Juke and Gotti though want Howard killed? I think it's strictly um Straight
Yeah,
Drop wanting him out the way. Either that
yeah, I
or
think so too.
whoever it was that her mother was dealing with that had him sent to jail. Why would you have him sitting up in your house and this is your daughter's boyfriend and this man had him sent to jail for 12 years. He had just got out. So it's something there that ain't right. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, and they need to bring in if they haven't already brought in Michaela and her mom, bring them in for questioning because if Howard's family don't trust her, they believe she. I mean, I don't think they're gonna lie on this girl. It's just too many fingers pointing at her. It's kind of easy, but once again, the feds might have been talking to her. I don't follow her on social media. I don't know what she's been saying, but I will give you this, Tam. Like you say, people get on social media and lie a lot. They'll pretend things are cool, but they've been questioned 3, 4 times, and you know, perception and reality. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people.
Okay, so this is where it was found at around this area.
Is anything out there?
A lot of land, but there's a house up there, right here. Now, I don't know if that house was already there. That's a lot of land. I mean, this is from 2023. Can you imagine? It's isolated. I think it was found like right along out here.
Dang, look like Texas Chainsaw Massacre out there, man.
Mm-hmm. It'd be easy to hide something, bury something. You know what I mean?
Yep,
People are starting to buy land now and build houses and stuff out there. So it was probably even more isolated back then.
that's wild. That's crazy. Well, all in all, I hope that this is going up to the proper channel. I hope, man. I don't. I want to have faith in the feds, but this last year, I don't know. I don't know. It ain't even them. It. I don't know. I'm just, just keep doing what you're doing, though. T, bringing awareness to this, and not just this case, but a lot of cases. But because of, a lot of people need justice. A lot of cases need solving, and they're not going to be solved to their cold. Like we need, but we do need people to get on off their butts. And MPD. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why are they undermanned? Like, is nobody trying to work there or what?
Nobody's trying to work there. They said the vehicle was burned out in a field. So it was out in the field.
And nobody would have seen anything. 'Cause ain't nothing out there. They probably did it at night. That's why. Yeah, just stay on their neck, tell them. They eventually they'll get tired and do some. I hope, but maybe the FBI already got it. So who knows? Maybe Straight Drop already been informed. They're gonna pin it on them. We don't know. Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna get in this chair and get my line up. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Sorry about my voice, man. Hopefully I'll be better. And thank you for dropping the link more. You can do that now since people got 7 years to think about their situation. But I'm gonna get with you, man. Y'all, y'all have a good one, man. All right,
All
Tam. I
right.
love
Talk
you.
to you later.
Yeah.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye bye. All right, you guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Anybody that wants to come up, you can come up. I don't bite. I don't bite. You can come up and talk about this or whatever it is your issues are um as it relates to some things. But hey, there has to be a better process because it seems to me that the investigators that they have over in missing persons is not there to investigate anything. They're just there to process paperwork of people that are missing. That's it. They just there to push paper. That's absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. What's this in straight to the point just told me Big U son was unfortunately killed. Justice for Dow says that Govan is known for hits and burning cars. I don't know. Was Govan hanging around them back in 2017? That was 8 years ago. It happened in 2017. Oh, they're saying Big U son was killed to last night or today. I don't know. I don't know if Govan was involved. I would Rikayla straight drop her mama and that dude that had him sent to jail. Now Govan might know what happened. If he did, he need to call anonymously and tell it. But the person was telling me, and this person would be reliable, that somebody had said that Govan was not involved. they believe that he probably at some point later on knew what happened, but it lies in the world of that girl and her mother and straight dropping them. But you never know. They knew each other through the drug trade. Look at how they was constantly. Look at how straight dropping them was constantly trying to kill um Paper Route Wu, and they're saying that that's because he was dating that girl. John Brown says, I think Govan was in prison. I was going through Tease's Facebook post today, and Govan would have been locked up during this time. I mean, the person told me that they didn't think that, as far as this Howard Barnett situation, that they had said, the person that said that they didn't think that Govan was involved in this. He probably found out later on, and that is what solidified them getting the hit on Young Dolph. Okay, because of what they did to Howard, and Howard was never found. Now I ain't gonna tell no stories. It's on nobody. If I don't tell stories on people. That's what the person told me. That this Howard Barnett situation, Govan was not in. It was didn't have anything to do with. Although the person told them they think he knew later on, he heard later on about being around Straight Drop in them. John Brown says, I was watching Trap Lore Ross 2-hour documentary about Young Dolph murder today, which made me go through Tease's Facebook post, and Govan was locked up. Oh, so Govan was locked up in 2017. Okay. So the person would know what they was talking about. That told the person that told me. So you was looking at Tease's. Okay. Oh wow. I tell you. Mm-mm-mm. You just looked at it 2 hours ago? Okay. I tell you. They take a car out to an isolated area like that. It was even more isolated in 2017 than it is now. And they didn't check everything. It was on a farmer's private property. A farmer's private property. The car. So that's Mason, Tennessee. It's Mason, Tennessee. So, oh, I tell you, y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. It's nothing but farmland out there. I tell you. Mm. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm looking at something. Anyways, y'all, listen. I gotta hold on. I got things I gotta do because anyways, y'all. I dropped the link. Whoever wants to come up can come up. I know just people don't really like to come up on the panel anymore, which is cool. You don't have to come up if you don't want to. But I wanted for you all to engage more about this situation. And like I said, it was just one of those things that kind of pissed me off because yeah, he's supposed to go through the notes and stuff, but even when you're going through notes, you're supposed to always check for error. Because it's easy for people to make an error or just notate. But people say, okay, such and such said, like I said, Rakayla said he had a warrant. Okay. So you mean to tell me out of 21 investigators, they didn't go and check to see that he did not have a warrant and say, but no warrant was found? I also notate, but upon doing a check, okay. And here's the thing with MPD, even if they don't want to do the check themselves, they can call Station B on their radio. Okay, they can do the checks. And to see that he did not have a warrant. So that should not even be in the notes. Or it could show that she lied. She lied about saying he had a warrant. Anyways. All right, y'all. I gotta run. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all reach out to the FBI. Reach out to the FBI if you have any information on what happened to Howard Barnett. Don't call with no lies, okay? Don't falsely accuse nobody. Don't make the situation more complicated than it should be. We ain't doing no guessing games. We want all facts, okay? We want the facts to be produced. We want whatever information you have to be able to be backed up, okay? So if you know where he is, you know the vicinity, if you heard something, call him and tell him. Just say, this is what I heard. It's noteworthy, and it's, you go check it out. Okay. So if you heard just a little bit of something, or whoever could have been involved, call the FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. That is the anonymous tip line number. Let's see, I think it's called, let's see, FBI tip line. John Brown, it says turn your it says turn your connect your microphone. Go into your settings and connect your microphone. John Brown, connect your microphone because it wouldn't let you up. I'll wait for you to connect your microphone so that we could hear you. It's 1-800-CALL-FBI. Yep, 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-225-5324. 1-800-CALL-FBI. John Brown, go into your settings and allow for StreamYard to use your microphone so that we can hear you, because it wasn't allowing you to connect. Mm. Are you still working on it? Let me know if you're still working on trying to come back up here. You all make sure y'all hit the like button, and y'all don't have to be scared to come up. I mean, like I said, I don't bite. I'm a real reasonable person. I don't really care who it is, as long as you don't come up here with no foolishness. I don't like crazy people. It do something to my nerve. If you're crazier than me, it's something wrong. What's up, John Brown? Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Miss Tamara?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you about TZ. I was going through his Facebook because I was watching a documentary about young Dolph.
Yeah.
And Govan, he would have been locked up during this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked it just now. Like TZ was making posts saying he's waiting for Govan to come out in about 2017, 18. So he couldn't have been involved in Howard Barnett.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you know how long he had been locked up around that time?
Not sure, but he was definitely locked up, so he could not have been. Because Howard Barnett died in 2017, right?
Well, we don't know if he went missing in July of 2017.
Yeah, he would have been locked up. Govan was locked up that time.
Okay, and here's the thing. A lot of people think that Straight Drop was locked up, but he wasn't. Straight Drop got locked up that year, but it was after he went missing. A month after. They put a warrant out for him for domestic violence in August of 2017. Howard Barnett went missing in July. He was staying with another girl.
Well, you know what's interesting? When I was watching this documentary, it showed clips of his interview with No Jumper, and TZ was Govan was basically trying to deny that him and TZ was close when TZ was calling him Unc and all this stuff.
They was close.
Yeah, I don't know why he was obviously something's going on there, right?
Well, I think that Mr.
Yeah,
Ian,
they was very close. There's several
yeah,
pictures.
Mr. Ian says that what Teasy and Juke had decided to do, allegedly, according to Mr. Ian, when I did an interview with him, Teasy and Juke was going to push everything down to Govan. So I'm sure Govan saw that. I think Govan spoke about Teasy telling on him too. Didn't he? Did he not on one of those shows?
Yeah. He did that. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, he said that he was a witness. He was on the witness list.
Right. He was going to be a witness against him.
Yeah. And the thing with that is, Teasy got killed in Orange Mound, which is that's where Govan is from. So,
you said Teasy got killed. Yeah, he did. He got killed in Orange Mound.
Yeah. So I'm sure he had something to do with it.
You never know.
But what do you think about Straight Joe? Because he if it's true, he's involved in Howard Barnett's murder, Young Dolph, allegedly Desmond Rogers, and Jeremiah Taylor. So do you think he's gonna get the death sentence? Because that's looking like
it's possible, but I think when Jeremiah was killed, he had already been arrested. But from my understanding, that group of people was involved in what happened to Jeremiah.
Yeah, allegedly they say Teasy was involved in that, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah, Teasy name did come up as being one of the ones that actually shot and killed Jeremiah. Now, what I found was, because his stuff was still up as of recently, I hope that the FBI or whoever MPD didn't do it. But I just got curious one day and I started doing some research on Jeremiah, just a little bit, just scratching the surface. He had an appointment, online appointment thing where you could call in, or you were not call, where you could just book appointments right on his website. So he was out early, and he said, don't call me to don't try to book an appointment with me to have sex with you or anything like that. So did somebody book him? He was out early. Was he booked to do a masseuse? And once they spotted him, did they kill him? I mean, did they look into that? That was really weird, because he did not live in that area. He didn't have an office. Folks were trying to say he was leaving his office. He didn't have one. What he did was he traveled. He went to the people.
Yeah, I saw he did an interview with Just Say No to Sko before he got murdered. And he was talking about how he doesn't do what you're saying, basically, doesn't do sexual favors and all that stuff.
Right.
But do you remember when
he was leaving work? He was not leaving. He didn't have an office. He traveled to the people. He was booked.
Yeah, that's
who
what he
booked
said,
him though.
That's the thing. Yeah. Do you remember when I was telling you before that I saw his autopsy was online and he got shot 39 times?
And that's what flipped the car over. No, I didn't know you said Jeremiah Taylor.
Yeah. I remember I told you before on one of your live streams that he got hit nearly 40 times.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, his autopsy.
Oh wow! What kind of weapon was it?
I think it was a Draco. I think.
But that's their weapon of choice with that little group of folks.
That he got did that. When I read the autopsy, it was really bad. The bullet wounds was everywhere.
Oh my!
I told you that one of the bullets went into his heart and blew his heart up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, they made sure that they killed him. Now, somebody came into the chat one time and said that they I don't know remember who it was, that they took him out because he was up there. They did such a messy job. They didn't know what they left behind. They was just out of control. So he was killed for nothing. But I had always said that I had heard from one of the MPD officers that group of people was involved in what had happened to him. That's why I never talked about it, because I was asked not to. I knew from the very beginning that they were involved. I just never talked about it.
Has there been any updates with the police about that? Because I've not heard anything about that.
I think it's something going to go on with it, but I don't know if MPD is going to handle it.
Interesting. What do you think is going on with Cornelius? I see that he's got a deposition on Thursday, right?
Yeah, he's going back for a disposition, which
But
means
I was researching online. A disposition doesn't mean it's a final thing, though. So they could even push it back again.
yeah, they could push it back again. I guess they'll be going. It don't really even mean sentencing either. It could be something else, but it's definitely going to be a disposition of it.
No, why do you think they keep
Of
on pushing
something.
it? Is it because he doesn't want, he's trying to not go to prison? He has to accept that he has to go to prison. Like he's the one.
Well, I don't think that's what it is. I think that he's been, in my opinion, and I'll say this, I think that he has been doing whatever is necessary to try and get the years shaved off of his sentence. You know, remember he said that his lawyer told him to work with the feds. Remember, he said that. He said, my lawyer told me from the start, just work with the feds.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I believe that's what he's been doing.
But the state,
you have to understand this thing is bigger than Govan. Now, because what we got to remember is Govan, even though I believe he played a part in it, Govan was not I guess the way they look at it, I guess he could be a mastermind, but as far as conceiving the idea of killing Young Dolph, Govan was brought in himself, and he only was in this for some money, which means there are people that was above Govan. There's a Govan and them are like the low hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe, in my opinion, that the feds will be dedicated to getting the root of the tree. It didn't stop with Big Jook, because Big Jook was kind of like a pawn too. He played a major part, but he was just being loyal to other people. He had a connection to the people in the street that the people who claim that they are bosses didn't. They sent him out there.
Mm. What do you think about Govan saying that Dolph put a hit on Gotti? Do you believe that, or do you think he's lying?
Govan said Dolph put a hit on Gotti. Govan was just being low down and messy when he said that. He know damn well ain't nobody ever heard that Dolph put no hit on Gotti. Not unless he was talking about he was trying to insinuate that when Gotti car got shot up down there by that FedEx forum. And I'm gonna tell you how I heard about that.
Was that after Young Dolph got killed?
I don't think it was after Young Dolph got killed. I don't believe that it was. It was before. Okay, it was right around the time right before he got killed. Because I remember them saying that I remember my cousins and them, I got that are out in the street. One of the girlfriends used to do my hair. And she said, I remember that a girl that Gotti was messing around with, she used to do her hair. She said, girl, and they shot his car up, and I know that video was real short. And one of these other vloggers brought it up, and it brought it back to my memory. And I was like, okay, I believe it was Stan G that spoke about that, or somebody. And I was like, yeah, I remember when such and such told me that his car got shot up, that when he was doing that video down on Riverside. Maybe Govan was trying to insinuate a Dolph and them did that, but ain't no telling who did it. I don't believe Dolph and them did it.
But do you think like, considering the poor job the state did, do you think that it could get taken up federally, Young Dolph's murder?
Well, I think it's been federal. We heard the police chief say that.
But the thing with
you talk about hit money, and ain't no telling that was people, traveling across. It's been federal. I mean, that's not something I'm making up. We've heard police say that. We heard how the defense attorneys have been brazen about talking about it, but you hear the prosecutors and even with the police officers that are on the stand. I mean, you don't talk about cases that are federally being investigated. They're not going to admit to that.
But there's so much evidence that they are not bringing out, like the fact like the whole insurance guy with Black Youngster, like the fact that Black Youngster was out in his car outside the cookie shop, like all this stuff is not being brought up. Why do you think it's not being brought up then?
I don't know. That's weird, right? Because he definitely played. He was a major component, right? I think Black
Yep.
Youngster probably got a lot that he need to worry about. And you know, I don't talk about Black Youngster a lot because I'm very, you know, really close to his family and stuff. And you know, he is the last child, but he got to pay for what he did. He allowed Gotti and them to, and I'm very open about that, right? Like I ain't no fake, but I know Black Youngster has to pay for what he did. He was a sellout, but I think Black Youngster got bigger fish to fry. You know, you got to think about why too were they so quiet about the young man that killed his brother being killed? The news just happened. I believe the family contacted the news media and let that out because it wasn't being talked about.
Yeah, that's true.
I believe the family contacted the news media because they was quietly investigating that. So Black Youngster he got more fish to fry. I'm not saying that he was involved. I'm just saying that it's weird.
Well, why did the state allow those two women to be the prosecutors? How come Hagerman was taken up? Because Govan's trial was much more difficult to prosecute than Straight Drops. I don't know why they let Hagerman not do this case.
I don't know, because you would think that they would have allowed, because you know Straight Drops case, even though it's Young Dolph's murder, Straight Drops case and Govan's case and Cornelius case are all they separated themselves from each other, so theirs will be separate, even though it involves one thing. I don't know. I think what Steve did was he underestimated some things, wanting to say, well, we're all capable of this, and that, and going in here and doing this, and we're all competent in prosecutors. And he made a mistake because they didn't look competent, and they were not. And so I think he should have kept somebody, Hagerman, that was familiar with the case, more familiar with the case, on the case.
I think they thought they could just use all the evidence in Straight Drops case.
Right. They thought it would be like straight to the point. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Right. And when Govan stepped up in there with that high price attorney that he had gotten from Atlanta, and he was ready, because what high price attorneys do is when they have hard cases. When I was in the private sector working for high price attorneys, the way they win is they'll look at a case and say, this is going to be a hard case. So what we got to do now is poke holes, because all they got to do is raise reasonable doubt. So what we got to do is just start poking holes, and that's twisting the truth and poking holes and yelling and screaming like Mandy did. And I mean, they'll tell you it don't have to be true. You just got to make it sound truthful. That's how defense attorneys operate, and he did a good job at doing that. That's what he get paid to do, so you can't get mad at him for that. That's what he was paid for.
I think that Manny, he had gotten Lil Durk off a murder case in 2019, so he's not a rookie. He knows what he's doing. He
said he been in practicing law for like 30 years. But the thing about it is, Manny didn't have a licenses in Tennessee. I think he ended up getting a licenses or something when for Govan. Okay, so how in the world you gonna let an attorney? I'm sure there are some different laws in Georgia. An attorney that was not even licensed in your state coming to your state and stomp you out like that.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you know, like during Govan's trial, like the thing about the AutoFresh receipt, they didn't even have that receipt. It was like a picture of it, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't even like.
You said what happened now?
You know, like during Govan's trial, they tried to present this receipts from AutoFresh, this car part place where they was going to get the car cover to cover the Mercedes-Benz.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even go to the shop to inquire about the actual receipt. They just had a picture of the receipt or something like that. I don't know what they were doing. Like,
well, they probably had a picture of it because they probably had the place to email it to him or something like that. But what they did was they just the same thing that happened in Howard Barnett's case. They're lazy. They are not following through.
Exactly. That's
Now,
what I'm trying to say.
when
They
people
were
say
very.
that Dabney was doing was now I've been knowing Dabney for a long time. I don't believe that Dabney did anything other than got laxed and did not do the checks and balances. There was no reason why they should not have gone to the car lot. The motherfucking camera probably wasn't working, but it would sound better to say, well, we went over there we immediately went over there to get the video. Okay. And the video, the cameras were broken. They were broken down, or they are mock cameras or whatever. So we couldn't get the video. Or you go to all the houses. I'm sure everybody around there probably got doorbell cameras. You make an effort. It's just a lot of things that they didn't do that Manny, because he was looking to poke holes, that's all he had. That him and his team poked holes. But did you go around the neighborhood? Okay, well then they didn't do that because they trying to put everything on my client. They should have covered all of their bases.
Yep.
So I can't give MPD no pass for that. Now, as far as Govan, okay. Listen, I said from the very start, I said, well, we know Govan ain't paid for no hit. But I know damn well Govan ain't that in love with Gotti and them. Hell, they was setting him up. So when he get on here and he get the talking about yo this and yo that, yo and his brother them was meaning for him to take the whole damn fall. So Govan ain't no damn fool. That's an act. He couldn't like Yo Gotti. Not now. I believe he might have liked him at one point.
I mean,
because
me
they all know
personally,
each
I
other.
think Gotti's giving him money for beating the case. That's what I don't know. Like,
And I can believe that too. Maybe that's the reason why Straight Drop is now talking about, because I think they had tricked Straight Drop into believing Teezy was involved. And now he's starting to see, because I don't think Teezy was involved. And Teezy I told y'all this from the start. Go back and look at some of my videos. I said Teezy ain't tell on Straight Drop. He was one of the ones that was still loyal to him, but they made him think that that he wasn't. And Straight Drop probably really starting to see a whole lot of shit now. But I mean, that's what happens when you allow greed to take over. Now, let's just say, but play devil's advocate. They said, well, Govan he knew about it. He ain't had nothing to do with it. Well, then I blame him. Because how in the hell Govan gonna be in his damn 40s and he older than them and he let Juke come in there and do that? How come he didn't stop it?
When is Trayon Ingram's trial? I heard that there was a date for it.
Well, that's I've been talking about that in my members. You need to get one of my members. You need to get my platinum, because I mean that right there, I mean that blew my mind. So I've been talking about Trayon and the members.
I think Straight Drop, he might get the death sentence after all his cases just finished.
Well, I don't want to see him killed. I really don't. Straight Drop is still. And listen,
because he was one of the shooters for the Covington shooting.
I don't want to see him get the death penalty. I don't. I listen. He got to pay for what he did to Young Dolph and everybody else. I want to see him in jail and pay, but I mean, I could never advocate for a misguided, misled young man, because Quet and them misguided them. How come Quet and Juke and them didn't try and guide this dude in the right direction? Why weren't they being positive role models? So I blame them. And I know people gonna say, well, that's a grown man, Tam. You can't be blaming them. I blame them.
Juke's murder, that I don't think that's ever getting solved.
I was listening to, because I be looking at Bet with Quest sometimes. So, I've been studying lately, so I don't be seeing when it come on. But I was looking at the interviews that he did. It sounded like to me he know what happened, because when they asked him, he said he went outside to smoke a cigarette and things went left. I was just looking at his face. It looked like to me he might know. He might have heard what happened or something. And he said that the police ain't trying to solve it, because if they wanted to solve it, they could, which means that, he said everybody. I believe he said everybody know. Everybody done heard what happened. So, I ain't sure about it. We ain't sure. I wish he'd tell us.
I find that quite interesting. Ever since he got his bond, that TZ died and then Juke died. Before that, when he was locked up, they were all alive. But since he got his that bond, both of them passed away.
So what you saying? You think he did it?
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I can tell, looking at his interviews, I can tell he really don't like Young Dolph.
No, he don't.
Something went on between. Obviously, them two.
Yeah, I think something went on between them. He was trying to get Straight Drop solved. I said solved, signed. I think that's where something probably happened there when he was trying to get him signed.
They used to trap together. I don't know, maybe if something went on there with them when they used to trap together. I don't know, but he definitely, I can tell from his body language, he just doesn't like Young Dolph. I don't know what happened, but
oh, that's right. He did say they did he say he trapped with Young Dolph, or did he say he trapped with Daddy-O?
Young Dolph. He said Young Dolph on Vlad TV. He said Young Dolph.
Oh, okay.
He said that he knows Daddy-O, but he used to trap with Young Dolph back in the day.
Okay, she said, Tam, check your email. Okay. Let's see.
Did you see that video of Gotti at some like award show with all the security that he had? He was at some award show and he had like all this. You would have think it was like President Trump or something.
Oh, they're saying that CEO TZ and in this email, she said that CEO TZ and Trayon took out Miss Anita. But you know what? Allegedly, I don't know how he would know. They're saying Cornelia said that it was Straight Drop and Trayon. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was Straight Drop and Trayon Ingram in that white. They committed that murder 5 days before Young Dolph got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And allegedly, it's got to do with Trula Matthews.
That's how Straight Drop was able to get such easy access to that car.
Yep.
The same car.
Allegedly, Trayon Ingram's mom got murdered by somebody from Fast Cash Boys, and they went to get retaliation. I think Darnisha son is in forgot what it was, but it was a retaliation for Fast Cash Boys killing Trayon Ingram's mom in a botched robbery.
Oh, she said Anita Wilson's son said that the other person that took out his mother has been killed. That was involved.
That's what the person that was involved in that Covington shooting.
You said that was involved in whose shooting?
What was you just talking about in the email?
Anita Wilson's. She said Anita Wilson's son said that the other person that took out his mother has been killed. So that's why they think it's TZ.
Oh, yeah.
But I was told Cornelius said it was straight drop. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But do you know
But
that?
Easy and straight drop was so close. He would still have access to the car.
Do you know the reason why they did that though?
No, why they do it?
That's what I was trying to tell you. Allegedly, you know this gang out there called Fast Cash Boys in Memphis, North Memphis.
Yeah, the fast C Money. He just lost his wife.
Yeah, allegedly they went to Trayon Ingram's house to rob it, and they killed his mom. And they went to get back against.
They went to Trayon. They killed Trayon Ingram's mother.
Yeah, the Fast Cash Boys in a robbery at his house.
Oh my God.
And then Trula Mafia went to get revenge. I think, like I said, I can't remember what it was, but I think Darnisha's son is a member of Fast Cash Boys. I think something like that. And then that's why they shot that car up. They followed her after that game where they followed that car and then shot it up. But they wasn't trying to kill the Anita Wilson. She was just a passenger, but they were trying to kill that Darnisha because I think her son is a member of Fast Cash Boys or something like that.
Oh wow. So that's what it is. So
that's
all that stuff they were saying about that being Gotti's baby mama. That was
I used to believe that one, but I did my research, and that's actually the real reason why they shot that car up.
Wow, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
So what do you think about like the U.S. Marshals in Memphis? Do you think Trump is right to do that? Because it seems like there's a lot of killing going on out there.
Well, they just said that the feds just shot a robber last night. I listen, a lot of people may disagree, but I think with the way that crime and stuff was out of control in Memphis, MPD ain't doing their damn job because they're so short. And they're having to take officers off of the street, new officers, and put them in bureaus. They don't even know how to be police officers yet, let alone investigators. So something was needed. So, yeah.
Why do you think Manny Aurora brought up Stupid Duke in Govan's case? I found that a bit strange. Why did you think he did that?
Probably because Govan had been talking to him about Stupid Duke, and that's really weird within itself. It had to have come directly from Govan, just like when Manny Aurora, people that they go right over their heads. Why did Manny Aurora say, why wasn't Gotti and Juke arrested? Then Manny Aurora said, Gotti is a wealthy guy. He didn't have, Juke didn't have the money to pay for no murders. I mean, Manny Aurora told you what happened.
But that's what made me confused. Like Manny was like basically trying to implicate Gotti and
that's exactly what he did. He implicated him, but he got it from the horse's mouth. That's why when Quet get on here talking now, I don't be stunned by what he's saying, because his attorney already told what he said. What happened?
Isn't it like Gotti that's paying Quet's fees, lawyer fees? I would think that would be Gotti, right?
He'll be a damn fool to be paying his fees now after what Manny said. How he think? How would Gotti believe unless he's scared? He know Quet got the goods on him, and he ain't scared to tell it. That would be the only thing that would keep Quet quiet. Some money. Maybe that's the reason why he done switched up.
So what do you think it was in Govan's proffer agreement for him to get that bond and for that information to not be used against him in court? Like, what do you think he told them?
I don't know. I don't know what was in. I ain't gonna even tell no lies. I don't know what was in his proffer agreement. I don't.
Because I know Mia J. I know she must be fuming because those family agreed to that proffer agreement.
Well, I think they probably told them to that something else probably get ready to happen, and that's why they're being quiet. And then they could be getting ready for a civil suit. I mean, Manny basically implicated Gotti. I think Manny gave him Gotti more than the fucking prosecution did.
Yeah, that's just true. But then in all of Govan's interviews, he's praising Gotti. All the interviews I see him praising Gotti. That's why I don't understand it.
Well, that's why I said maybe, like, you might be right. Maybe he gave him some money because Gotti and Juke and Teasy and them was getting ready to push everything down to Govan. They turned straight drop and Cornelius against Govan. Govan been a street dude for a long time. He ain't no damn fool. So it ain't no way he could have no love for Gotti and them. He know all of these people were involved and get ready to push everything down to him. Now he was involved now, but they was gonna try to make him look like the mastermind of everything. He wasn't a damn mastermind.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. He definitely wasn't a mastermind. And he was definitely involved. Like you said, he's not stupid. So
now he ain't stupid. I think he's just playing along now to get paid. Shit, because with Govan, you can't trust nobody like Govan. He probably be setting Gotti up right now. He know what Gotti and them was doing to him. Gotti do everything through other people, so he might be talking about yo this, yo that. The thing Gotti will trust him enough to not, so he can knock him down. I figured from now on, Govan ass and got too old to be taking hits. But I bet from now on he probably just try to do the hits on himself. But he better sit his old ass down, his knees and shit bad, trying to do hits.
So do you think the city of Memphis still fucks with Gotti, or you think they, after Young Dolph died, that they don't fuck with him anymore?
You said, do I think who?
Do you think like the city of Memphis still like messes with Gotti, or do you think
they never mess with him? I don't know why everybody. I know you probably wouldn't know, but you know, I lived in Memphis my whole life. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Gotti, and I believe Gotti when he talk about, you know, he never did anything for Memphis because people in Memphis didn't support him. People in Memphis hated on him. The people in Memphis have to make him who he is. He talked about how the police and the feds was always messing with them. So if Gotti say it, why? I don't understand why people feel like he been having his way.
No, what I don't understand about the Young Dolph's mother, you're gonna kill somebody because you're jealous of them. That's the reason why he killed.
That's exactly why they did it. But what I wonder is, I wonder now, do Gotti feel like it wasn't? Do he regret doing having them folks to do that? Him and whoever it was that was involved, because it wasn't just him. I wondered those who had Juke to get out there and find them hitmen. I wonder, do they regret it?
Because they have to go all the way to South Memphis to get shooters. It's not like they got shooters from North Memphis.
They got shooters from South Memphis, which is really just sad on a whole nother level. It really just makes me mad. So, because how in the hell they gonna let somebody come from out of, I don't give a damn if they was play cousins or not. How in the hell you gonna let somebody come from way over in North Memphis and come in South Memphis and take out another guy that's over in South Memphis giving out turkeys and helping people in the damn area they grew up in? Anyways, John Brown, I'm gonna get off of here. I gotta study. I got an essay that's due tonight. I'm mad about the test. I took a test and I made a D on the test, on my philosophy test. I'm just really just upset.
What you studying law?
Huh?
Are you studying law?
You said I started getting low?
Are you studying a law degree? What are you studying?
Yeah, I'm getting a law degree, and I got to do better because I cannot believe philosophy kicking my ass like that. My average in my history class is an A. I just don't understand what's going on. Like, it's really just got me stressed out making D's.
I'm currently doing a master's degree in business.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, so I can understand your pain.
Yeah, because it really stressed me out to make it when it said D. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. It just stressed me out.
Yeah,
I
law.
contacted my teacher to see if I could retake the test. She ain't said nothing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong in my philosophy class. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm moving too fast. Maybe I get to panicking because I make so many good grades in history, I just ace them. I don't have no panic like I got a quiz. But when I see I got a philosophy test or quiz, I start panicking. Like, oh Lord, what's gonna be on it? Anyways, I'm gonna get studying. I'm turning to I'll be glad when the semester over. I hope my teacher responds to me. Let me take that test over because my head started hurting. Anyways, I appreciate you coming up. Where you got an accent? Where you from? Australia or somewhere?
I'm actually from England.
Oh, so what made you have an interest in the Young Dolph's case?
I'm a big fan of his music. So,
really, what's the weather like over there in England today?
really, really bad. It's raining. It's raining right now.
Okay, it's cold over there.
Yeah.
When does it? Do y'all get snow and stuff over there?
Yeah, usually when it's like Christmas time, it's snow.
Okay. What's been happening with the royal family?
Oh yeah, because of that Epstein stuff, like Prince Andrew. He's been stripped of all his titles because obviously he's tied to that Epstein stuff. So.
Oh, so they stripped him. Well, he still got the money, I bet.
Yeah.
So that ain't even. It probably ain't gonna hurt him none. Because what he do? He just had the title. All they do is make money. So how come they ain't got rid of Prince Charles? That he married his mistress Camilla and she ugly, and then he did Princess Diane like a dog and had her killed. How come they don't strip him?
That's you know what, that's an excellent point. They say over here that he even had an involvement in Princess Diana's death, but I don't know how true that is.
I think he did. And then Camilla Parker was his mistress the whole time. She always looked older than him. And now they've allowed him, they just accepted her. You know, they used to talk about her like a dog when in the Inquirer, because I used to read it. And now they've accepted her. What do they call her? She's not the queen, but what is she?
Basically, if I mean, yeah, she's not the queen, but like she's obviously the husband of Charles, so she's got a title.
What is she called though? She's called the princess. She's called something.
Yeah, I forgot what she's called.
She was a side chick, so they didn't give her the queen title. They called her something else. Anyway, I think they need to give Harry his stuff back.
Yeah, they don't like him over here.
Again. Why they don't like Harry?
It's because they got like, this country has a very like, when it comes to like race, it's like they don't like that Meghan woman because she's biracial.
Oh, so they're very racist over there in London. Really? So they said that the queen was racist. Remember, Princess Diana's brother wrote a book years ago and said that the queen didn't like black people.
Yeah, like even when they had when Meghan and Harry had their baby, she didn't even want to see their baby.
Oh wow, because the baby is wow.
Yeah.
And look at her now, she dead. Ain't that something? You could be so evil, and I don't wish that on nobody, but you could just be too evil. I tell you.
Yeah, this country has a very big problem with like race.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm surprised about it because remember Josephine Baker? She left the United States. She was from out of St. Louis, and she went. I read everything about Josephine Baker, and she went over to Paris. Paris is not that far from you all, is it?
Yeah, it's not that far.
And so she went over to Paris, and one of the reasons that she was able to make it in Paris was because they weren't used to seeing she was dancing on stage, and with her bananas and no top, and they was really fascinated about her dark skin. But that was in like the 1920s.
Because this country doesn't have too many black people. That like the population is like under 70 million, but there's only like 1.8 million black people, and black people don't really have a voice here. It's not like America where you've got like 40 million black people there. The black people here, we don't really have a voice here. So it's like white people just like they control a lot of the things here.
Are you black?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of black people come from Africa. That they kind of come from other countries and go to London.
Yeah, like the Caribbean and Africa. Yeah.
Why they go over there to London if they're prejudiced like that? Because I'm thinking about, you don't see a whole lot of black people over there. So is the healthcare system
that's what I was gonna
free
say.
and all of that?
Yeah, we got this thing called the NHS. So basically, like let's say for me, for example, like when I was younger, I dislocated my leg. In America, you'd probably have to pay for that if you went to the hospital, right? Whereas here,
right,
we don't pay nothing for that.
And you don't see a lot of people getting like having a lot of sickness and stuff over there, either like cancer and stuff. That's really taboo over there, isn't it?
Well, no, actually, that's not true. The cancer is quite it's a big thing here.
Really?
People die from cancer every day.
Because they said that the food was supposedly better. Because there's a lot of stuff that is banned over there that they kind of push as health foods. Now, I don't know if they've changed it, but I remember they said like in one of those countries, I believe it was London, like in the Europe, that like yogurt is banned because it's not healthy.
No, that's not true. That's not. You get yogurt in our supermarkets or anywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of people here die from cancer regularly. Every day there's people dying from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But that cancer thing, like my auntie, she passed away from cancer. I personally believe it's the things that they're putting in the foods that we eat.
The food and water?
Exactly, yeah. Like the foods, water. Even like like with black women, like with their hair products, even things like that. There's all these manufactured things that man makes. I believe that's what's contributing.
Yeah. Because Dick Gregory exposed that the perms that the women put in, that we was putting in our hair, it was causing fibroids.
All those chemicals that they're putting in there, that's what I think is causing that. Because if you look at like ancient mummies, like from ancient Egypt or ancient Rome, they don't have cancers in their body.
Right. And if you think about like back in the 70s and 80s, like our grandmothers and stuff, they ate pork and killed and slaughtered hogs and shit. Hell, their blood pressures and stuff went up high. Now they're saying that eating pork and eating hogs and stuff is what's causing all this sickness.
And then you've got like global pollution, all the chemicals that's in the air as well. That wasn't happening in ancient times. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's like all these things that man does today, that's what I believe is causing these diseases.
I think so too. I think so too. I mean, they make billions of dollars off sickness of the body.
Even like with the whole COVID thing, I personally think that was man-made.
Well, if you listen to Trump, they call Trump crazy, but I mean, even a clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day or whatever. So, I mean, he said it. They have to filter a lot of stuff he say. And I remember when he was in office the first time, he was like the China disease, and they said China. He said a Chinese disease. He said because it was made in China.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you listen to him, because he's definitely a radical. He gets mad and blurt out stuff, and people miss what he's saying because because he might say it crazily or they be mad at him. But you have to listen to what he say. He butts against the system. Quite a bit.
What do you think about his so-called assassination attempt? Do you think that it was real? Because over
I
over
think it
here
was
we don't
fake.
think it's real. Yeah, we think it's fake around here as well.
Yeah, it was fake because I mean, why would they hit his ear and not
I'm saying,
his head? The ear right next to the damn head. Shit.
that was clearly fake.
What happened to the man that did it?
Exactly. You see how they don't talk about anything to do with that.
Nothing at all. And then when they walking off stage, they throwing their fists up like power to the people. No.
Even like this Charlie Kirk guy, you see how they just died down with that as well. Like, because that was probably a U.S. sniper that did that. I don't believe that boy did that.
Me neither. But they probably killed the boy. Did they kill him?
I mean, they say he's in custody, but I don't.
Well,
I
we
don't.
probably won't hear nothing else about him because they let him out the back door.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't believe he did that either.
But why would the boy want to
this,
do it though? And they said the boy was white.
I think they're coming up with all this stuff because they need a distraction because I think Trump is in them Epstein files and they need a distraction for it. Every time Epstein gets brought up, you notice in the media there's like a new controversy that comes out when they're talking about Trump and Epstein. So that's what I think. Anytime Epstein's name comes up with Trump, they come up with something to distract the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a cover-up.
I think it's a lot more people that was involved in the Epstein stuff. Like Epstein was only able to do what he did because he had so much support of people with money.
Yeah. Well, how come they haven't released them flight logs? Why haven't they done that? That's something you should easily be able to do.
When they was talking about the Pizzagate and all that, I believe that. I believed every bit of it because there was this that MK Ultra stuff is real. I did research on this young man who was abducted from out of Iowa in 1981. His name was Johnny Gauche. And there are videos and stuff why Johnny can't come home. There was an FBI agent, Ted Ganderson. He retired from the FBI. He went to he became a private investigator. And the reason I took such an interest in it, Agent Ganderson, Chief Ganderson, ended up training. Chief Ganderson had trained, my mentor was up under him when he was on the FBI. And so I started looking at how Chief Ganderson, when he retired from the FBI, still wanted to do work. And he became a private investigator. They hired him. Johnny Gauche's mother hired him to look for her son. And Agent Ganderson, because he had been an FBI agent for so many years, he knew how to dig. So Johnny Gauche's mother hired him. He started doing investigations. He found out about this Pizzagate stuff, all of the MK Ultra stuff. He started digging deep. They tried to kill him several times. And it went all the way up to the highest official in the land the land that was involved, that included the presidents. So one day, their family Republicans, they're sitting at home looking at a special at the White House on CBS. Who do the family see standing behind old man Bush but Johnny Gauche? His mother goes, his family, that's Johnny. That's our son. By this time, he had been missing for like 3-4 years. He's standing behind Bush. They were all using these kids for sexual pleasure. I don't give a damn about the Bushes. When they sit up talking about they dead, they should have been dead. And the young would need to die too. Because all of them was involved in a lot of this stuff. Okay? And people want to talk about, the Bushes, they were thugs. They were evil and they were thugs. And a lot of these presidents, they follow suit. Okay? They do a lot of this stuff. When you think about how government is, the FBI, the intelligence, the CIA that the government has, nobody is supposed to be able to commit a crime and get away with it because they have the type of equipment to see anything, right? But what they do is they get quietly put their people, they run for office and put their people in office, Okay. So what they start doing is they start quietly changing laws to make penalties and punishment less stringent for pedophiles and shit like that because they're pedos. But they start making, to me, it is unheard of. And while we fighting each other, this is the type of shit we need to be fighting. How in the hell you gonna let them have laws where a pedophile do maybe 10 months, but they 3 months, and they give a drug dealer 30 years? What kind of mess is that?
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Like they'll do that. Yeah.
So, but it's only able to happen because of the crooked politicians, and they work together. They start quietly funding people, their people. They had them to run for office, put the money behind them, and they put them in office, and then they fulfill their agenda. A lot of this trafficking is only able to go on because a lot of these politicians are involved. That's why when I see, when they started talking about, well, Trump was involved, but it seems like me there have been more busts because he mad at him. We know he a tyrant. When he get mad at him, he know where all of the skeletons are, so he send his troops to go and start busting up a lot of these human trafficking rings because he probably was a part of them. Okay, but I mean, hey, I take it any way I can get it. They need to be taken down.
Yeah, if you look at the history of America, the Anglo-Saxon, he went there and stole that land of native Indians. So what you've got is criminals making laws.
Absolutely. They passed it down to their lineage. They taught their sons and daughters, train them on what to do. That's the reason why it's his generation after generation, all of the generations, it never changed. They just kind of pass it down.
Like even with your guns,
continue on with what was being done, and then what they do is they get their interns and shit to get on, and radicals to get on the internet because they know people are so easily influenced. Okay, we'll just start this vibe of saying, listen, I don't get into politics. I leave the politics to the politicians. I don't vote. That's what they want you to feel. That's what they want you to do so that they can keep their people in.
Right. Like if you look at your gun laws, the reason why they don't want to get rid of them is because it was the gun that allowed you to take this land off the native Indians. If it wasn't for the guns, there was too many native Indians here. You would have never defeated them. But it was those guns that allowed you to defeat them. So that's why they have such pride with those guns.
And they be mean too, because I remember when I'll never forget when Katrina happened. Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Barbara Bush, okay, got on there. They had all those people in the Superdome. I mean, just terrible conditions. You don't even treat a dog like that, let alone humans.
Yeah, I watched the documentary about that. There's so much rape going on. And so
yes. And don't you know that lady got on there and said, well, a lot of these people are living better in this Superdome than they ever lived before this happened. How could she?
I mean, yeah. Like even this hurricane that happened in Jamaica. You see how the world media just reported that for 1 or 2 days and just moved on to the next topic.
Yep. Because they know out of sight, out of mind. If you don't talk about it, the way to keep people's mind, we're so busy and consumed with trying to survive. If we don't see it, it'd be out of sight, out of mind. So the news media, that's why it's called programs. When they go the next program, because it's a programming of the brain, really, because we're more so visual people.
Like even the whole thing about reparations for African Americans. You see how they'll say battles in the past or forget about it, but when it comes to 9/11 or something like that, you always have to remember it because most of the people that died in 9/11 were white people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and they're not even telling the truth about that.
Yeah. Well, allegedly, the government was involved in that as well. There was no weapons of mass destruction. It was all a ploy to just go over to the Middle East.
Because remember when they first started talking about retaliation, they was after Saddam Hussein. They said he was the one that did it. And then after they killed him, it went from Saddam Hussein to Osama bin Laden. Okay. And because they own the medias, they're able to make people forget that they said Saddam Hussein was the one that did this. That's why they killed him. And then after they killed him, he no longer had anything to do with it. It was something else. Then they said it was Osama bin Laden. So it makes you wonder why they really wanted them dead.
Like I have a friend who was in the army at that time, and he told me like the soldiers there was instructed to steal barrels of oil over there.
That's exactly what it was about. It was about oil.
Yeah.
Even with the guy over in Libya, what was his name that Hillary Clinton wanted dead so bad, and they killed
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi. He was liberating, like he was doing. They was getting away from dealing with American. I don't know verbatim, but
I know what you're talking about.
They weren't back in the American dollar or something like that, and they was got free housing, free farming, like free school. Yeah. Like he was really liberating their country.
He was trying to create like a unified currency for the whole of Africa, and the US didn't want to do that because that was going to devalue the dollar, and that's why they got rid of him. And apparently, there's emails just came out recently of Hillary Clinton confirming this.
Oh wow!
But she's a wicked woman, that Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Like I read a lot about like the reason my stance is like it is. So you're a Black woman. How could you feel that way? No, it's just that I did my research on a lot of those people. That's why when they get to talking about, well, Trump this and that, I don't say a whole lot. I go and look into it. When he wrong, I'll say it. When he ain't, I'll say it. Okay, so.
No, she wasn't. She's like allegedly involved in human trafficking. She stole when Haiti had the earthquake. She stole all the relief fund money.
That lady Kathy that was abducted, she they kind of black her out every time she does stuff and put it on YouTube. YouTube would delete her videos. Her name is Kathy something. She was a victim of the MK Ultra. She said it like she said Hillary Clinton sexually did way more to me than Bill did. You know what I mean? Like they have people that survive this stuff that will expose it, but they black it out.
That's true. I've talked on my homework on her. She's wicked.
That's why when folks get to talking about Bill Clinton was our first black president. Why? He gave us more food stamps and welfare than anybody. Okay, see, and he liked it, the Black women. Well, all the slave masters love Black women. Why wouldn't they?
That's the thing I don't get about that. Like, if they consider Black people 2/3 of a human being during slavery, but then they raped Black people. I don't understand.
Right.
What do you think is 2/3 of human beings?
And got them pregnant and then made them and sold their babies off. And when they were highly if they were really light complected, at some point they started selling them like to brothels in New Orleans and stuff. Because if they were closer to white or they was mixed or curly hair or whatever, they would sell them off and send them to brothels down in New Orleans. People need to know their history and stuff.
Like Thomas Jefferson, he have like a biracial
family.
Like he had like this 14-year-old biracial girl that he was raping every day. He had multiple children with her. But they got statues of Thomas Jefferson in America.
Right, and he was just as evil.
And he had like 600 slaves as well. But America celebrates people like that.
Unfortunately, that's why when you had certain activists back in the day, like Malcolm X and all of them, they started going to other countries because see, America wanted to. They was doing this, but they didn't necessarily want other countries to know just how they were to Black people, right? I think that's one of the reasons why when Malcolm X started going to other countries and stuff, and he started exposing some of this stuff. I think that's one of the reasons why they took him out too. They funded the Nation of Islam to help to do it.
Yeah, like the things that they did during slavery was atrocious things. The white man did during slavery. Like feeding black babies to alligators, using them as alligator bait.
Yeah. They would use them as bait. So they would take a slave's they would take a slave woman's baby and use it as alligator bait.
Yeah.
And I was reading, it's funny you said that because I was reading about that and I got curious and I wanted to read more about it. Sometimes they would just flat out just kill the child by chopping off limbs and stuff like that to dangle their arm and all of that. It's just cutting off their limbs and stuff until the child went into shock and died. To cutting off their limbs so that they can dangle it to catch alligators. That's evil, like on a whole. Like, good God Almighty.
Like even during Jim Crow, they used to skin black people and make postcards out of their skin.
Yes, skin them alive
and make postcards out of it. But that's wicked.
So that's why I can't understand how we could have so much black on black crime. When we've had so many atrocities in our community. Like, how could all of these black men get together? And Young Dolph represents so much more. That's why I get mad when I hear people say, well, it's street stuff. Hell no, it ain't street stuff. These black men ain't got no business getting together, plotting to take out another productive black man just for some paper, for some money. Money is just paper. That's evil.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, you see over here in England, right? We got like in London, we got a very big problem with like knife crime, but like it's mostly young black men killing other young black men here. Why do you think that is? Like, black people have this like self-hatred amongst one another, where they're always like attacking their own, but they don't do anything to anybody else.
I think that's because that's the way that, unfortunately, that's the way that a lot of our people have been programmed. There has not been any repair for our people. I'm talking about mentally. And they were, taught to just hate what you see when you look in the mirror. That's why, you have young women who have issues with being dark skinned, Oh, if I was, I had low self-esteem. Why? You pretty? Because I was dark skinned. I mean, do you know how much melanin in the skin go for? It's funny that everybody knows the value of our race and community except for us, but that's the way that it was set up. They never want you to know that. Okay. But it can go both ways because my children are light complected and hey, like the light skinned girls, unfortunately, because of our community has not had any repair, can be extremely hard on somebody that's light complected because of jealousy, right? Because they was taught whatever is closer to white is better. So it can ignite jealousy, if you are darker skinned, especially if you don't know who you are, you don't have any confidence. Like, it's just really sad. Our people need some help.
Now, if you look at like in America during Jim Crow, like in the 1930s, black people was economically doing well. There weren't gangs killing each other. Like, why do you think? What do you think happened where like it changed from that to like now where black people just spend all their money with white people, or they form gangs and kill their own people? What do you think happened during that period?
I think that's the only reason why that they decided to do integration, because they saw how well to do that black people was becoming, because they had to patronize each other. That's why we had the Black Wall Street in the 1920s, because those black people patronized each other. They had to, whatever they bought, they had to buy it from other black people. And so when they started talking about integration, now I could see, when they was talking about equality, of course. But then I think they started thinking about integration. Okay, well, if we do integration, hey, instead of, okay, they coming in through the black back door, well, why not let them? Because, they started talking about, well, we ain't going to buy no bread from Wonder Bread. We can't walk in the store and get it. We got to go through the back door. We just ain't going to buy no bread from Wonder Bread, okay? That Wonder Bread shut down in Memphis for months because Black people refused to buy bread. And so the bus stops and stuff, the buses didn't have any money in Montgomery to keep running and stuff because Black people refused to. They came together and united. And so they was able to, they thought about, well, why not let them sit at the front of the bus? I mean, hey, we'll just find another way to do it. We need to integrate. I think that plan was already that then they can't, we'll stop the, what did they call it? The industrial like situations of where they're growing businesses and companies. We can intercept that, okay, and keep them as the consumers, because as long as they have to patronize each other, I mean, Black people spend more money than anybody. They have to patronize each other. They'll mess around and be wealthier than us. I think that's the only reason why they agree with integration.
Yep, I agree with that as well.
That's true, Ken. He said it's generational trauma and Willie Lynch. And it's unfortunate that there's a lot of people in our community that have that Willie Lynch syndrome.
But the thing with that is like, if you look at the people of the 30s, they would have been closer to slavery than we are today. But we are more destructive today than those people back then.
Absolutely. You know, I agree with Minister Farrakhan on this. He says every time Black people started to become conscious about who we really are, drugs was incorporated into the equation to throw us back off of balance. And if you think about it, it's true. Whether it was a legal form of drugs or illegal.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because over here in the media, they don't paint a very good image of like black people in America.
Really? They don't?
Yeah. No, they don't. Like every time I see like I'm in the Daily Mail or anything, it's never anything positive. It's always like negative stuff.
Oh my God.
But they do the same thing here with the
Do you all have any like Black leaders like that run for office? Do y'all have like offices and stuff, or it's just everything's just ran by the Queen?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like America is completely different from England. Like in America, you've got 400 years of history of Black people, obviously oppression. Like here, it's not like that. Like Black people here have only really been established here like since the 1960s. Before that, really establishments with Black people here. That's why like the struggle here is way more harder.
Oh wow. Are there a lot of Black businesses that's successful over there?
Not really, no. Like there's no like I couldn't tell you a single Black owned company that's got like multiple stores. I'm sure out there in America you've got companies like that, but out here, we Black people here, we don't have a voice out here. We don't have power. We don't have economic power over here. And most of the Black people just want to like, if I'm just being honest, they just want to work for white people. There's no ambition to like set up their own business. Everybody here just wants to get a job.
Oh wow.
It's not like America. In America, because I noticed a lot of African Americans complain about America, but you believe me, you wouldn't like to be here. If you think America's bad because of like the economics over there, you would find here way worse because there's not really a voice for Black people over here. Most of the Black people that have got money here, most of them are sellouts. They're not for the Black community.
Oh.
Like for example, like the athletes that we have over here, most of them, they don't care about the Black community. Most of them have got white wives, like a lot of the NBA players. They don't do nothing in the Black community, as in nothing at all.
So the national basketball players over in London that are Black, they have white wives, so they push the money back to the white community.
The biggest sport over here is what you call soccer. We call it football, but you call it soccer. And most of the players that are Black, most of them have got white wives or white girlfriends, which is similar to like in the NBA, I guess.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But most of the Black people here that do have any form of money, they're not for the Black community. Like we don't have a Huey P. Newtons over here or Harriet Tubmans or these type of revolutionaries that you've had over there. Like we just don't have that over here.
Oh my. That's sad. I thought that it would have been way. I don't know why. Like, so have you ever gone to Paris?
Yeah, my uncle is from there. He lives over there.
So is it the same way there now?
Yeah, because like in recent times, like with this immigration is like a really big thing in Europe now. Like all these countries are complaining about immigrants because you've got select few immigrants that come to these countries like Paris or like France or England, and they commit crime, and they'll use that as a tool to say, "Oh, get all the black people out of it, get all the immigrants. We want this country to be white again." That's their whole thing in Europe right now. Like basically, like what's going on in America with the Hispanics immigrants and all that, like the Hispanics in the cages on the borders. That's a lot of that is going on over here.
Oh wow. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, America is like the go-to. Like we like over here, we look at everything that America does and copy it pretty much. Like this country is obsessed. If you were to go on the Daily Mail in my country, right, on the website, they just so many of their articles talk about America. Like the whole world is obsessed with America. So
oh wow.
So, like even with, like I said, with your immigration laws, I believe what you're doing to these immigrants there, that's a direct result of what's going on right here. Because this wasn't happening before. I noticed in recent years this immigrant stuff in America is coming up, and now it's coming up in Europe as well. So it's like this whole world just looks at America and just follows everything it does.
All right, John Brown. I may get back on later, but I appreciate you all. They was enjoying the conversation. We've had people were really listening. I'm glad you came up and talked about that. I never would have thought that as far as London. I never would have. But listen, you all, I need to study some more. I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate you coming up, Mr. John Brown.
It was nice to speak to you, Mr. Merrill.
I really enjoyed you. I really enjoyed the knowledge that you just kicked. Hey, you told me some stuff that I didn't know. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yep.
So were you born and raised in London?
Yep.
Okay, so you've been there your whole life.
Yep.
Okay, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks. I love you guys. I'll speak with you later. Thank you, John.
I'll see you later, Mr. Merrill.
Bye-bye.